Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello, Garden City. How you doing?
We're doing great.
Here. Hello to Westland, Canton, Dearborn Heights, Dearborn. Hello to Livonia, Redford, and Inkster. Just to name a few. Welcome to episode number 745 of the Garden City Community Chat Show on this beautiful day, Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. The Tigers won, Pistons won. It's a great day, huh?
Absolutely.
Hey, we're so happy you could be with us tonight. We hope you're all safe and doing well. I am your host, Kerry. Also joining me tonight, former Garden City Councilman Mike Jones. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing fine, Kerry.
Good. It got kind of warm today, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty warm. 80, I think it hit. Tonight, our guest is Michigan State Representative Dylan Wegela. He'll be here shortly, get us caught up on what's going on in Lansing. Also, we're going to chat a little bit about AI, data centers, DTE, credit card fees, and answer any of your questions as well. So please stay tuned for that. And then, Mike, you're going to close out the show with some community events and announcements, I believe. So stay tuned for that. We have a lot to get to tonight. And let me mention real quick, if you're watching us live on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and post your questions and comments in the comments section. You can find us live right now on Facebook at facebook.com/GCChat. And if you look in the upper corner of the screen, you'll see a QR code. You can hit that with your camera from your smartphone. It takes you right to our YouTube channel. So that'll be up throughout the show. And you can also email your questions to us at gccommunitychat@gmail.com. And we'll do our best to get those answered for you. Remember, we're here to promote not only our community, but yours as well. And speaking of community, if your community organization or business has any events, announcements, or cancellations that you'd like to get out to our listeners and you'd like to be featured on our show, what do you think they should do, Mike?
They should probably email us, Kerry.
Exactly. Email the details to us at gccommunitychat@gmail.com or message us on Facebook, and Mike will be more than happy to pass that info along. Remember, you're always welcome to come on the show, promote your community, your business, or organization anytime. Won't cost you a dime. We also encourage any local business to check out and join the Garden City Business Alliance. See what great things they can do for you. For more information, head on over to their website at gardencitybusinessalliance.org. Okay, before we get to our guests, let me mention real quick that the next City Council meeting will be Monday, May 4th. At 7 p.m. in the council chambers located at 6000 Middlebelt Road. These meetings are a good way for you to get involved and voice any concerns you may have as well. Also, a quick program note, I want you to mark your calendars for these upcoming guests. Next week, April 30th, we're going to have Garden City Mayor Mark Jacobs on. He'll be back with some community updates for us, see what's going on. And then going into May, on May 7th, we're going to have Wayne County Commissioner David Knisik, and recently named the president of Henry Ford College. He's going to be here. So we hope you'll be able to join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, let's introduce our guest for tonight. He represents the 26th District. Please welcome back State Representative Dylan Wegela. Dylan, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, as well as you can be during the times we're living through, but last night was a late night. We were in Lansing till about 11:30. Republicans passed their budget out of the House, voted no on that budget, cuts across the board, a lot of just really not great things in that budget, which I could get into a little bit later if interested. But this is just part of the process, right? Both chambers pass their budgets out, and then the final budget will come around June. But one thing that is kind of new news is that the filing deadline was this week, and I am running unopposed in the Democratic primary for re-election. So the first time I've actually ran unopposed in a primary. So that means I'm going to be able to help a lot of Democrats across the state and colleagues get reelected so we can take back the House.
So you don't have to put all them signs out this year.
I mean, I still have a Republican opponent, and I'm going to take it seriously, of course.
Yeah.
We are a pretty strong Democratic district, but I want to make sure I'm earning people's votes. But I'm really interested in us taking power back in Lansing so that we continue to pass good working class laws.
Well, thanks so much for being here tonight. I know it's a busy time for you, and I'm taking you away from the draft, I know.
Yeah, I wanted to rep my Lions, though, so I wanted to make sure I brought the hoodie on.
Yeah, and we got the national champs. Yeah. Everybody's doing pretty good. Tigers are doing good now. Pistons looked great last night.
Yeah.
Looking forward to more. All right, I know you want to chat about AI, data centers, DTE, but for listeners who may not know what your role is in Michigan, and why are these issues important to you?
Yeah, so I'm a state representative. So what that means is I serve in essentially Michigan's Congress, which is the Michigan legislature. I serve in the House. There's 110 of us. I'm in my third year now, second term, and this year, usually, well, let me kind of back up. I'll give you the basics. They usually place you on a different set of committees, right? So you're either put on budget committees, which is appropriation, policy committees, which is writing legislation, or oversight committees, which is looking into the things the state has done or looking into state investments. And that's what I am on at this session. So one of the committees I've been on has been corporate subsidies and state investments oversight committee. And one of the things we've been looking into over the last several months has been data centers. They've been talk of the media, but also people might not know this. When Democrats had a trifecta, they actually passed use and sales tax exemptions for data centers. So essentially, data centers, since that has been passed, and I voted no on that legislation, data centers have been flocking to Michigan across the state. And we've seen dozens of projects pop up. And what's been really interesting about this is coalitions have been forming from the left and the right and the center to show up in local communities and fight back against these. The two biggest projects that we have near us is Saline Township, which is a project that is very big. And what that project would do is it would use the electricity of 1 million homes, or another way to put that, 25% of DTE's current electric load. Now, right next to that project is Saline Township, is Van Buren Township, and Google is bringing a project there that would power 2 million homes. So what we're talking about and seeing with just these two projects, and as I mentioned, there's dozens of them across the state, is the expanding of DTE's energy by 3 million homes, or roughly 75% of its current electric load. And what data centers do, if people are unfamiliar, we use data centers for a lot of things, right? Cloud storage, the internet runs through data centers and so forth. Essentially, like this photo will show you, they're essentially basically warehouses of servers that make the digital world run. Now, what's different about these two facilities, though, is they are being built for a specific purpose. They're called hyperscale data centers, which means they're really, really big. And what they're being built to do is to advance AI or technology or artificial intelligence. That's ChatGPT. That's a range of other things. I don't know if you've had any experience recently where you've called somewhere with customer service and you got AI instead of a person, or you've gone through a drive-through. I know Taco Bell and Checkers are using AI in their drive-thrus now. A big range of things. But essentially, we have this situation right now where 5 corporations or 6 corporations across the United States, Meta, Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, Grok, which is Elon Musk's AI X, and then Anthropic, which are like kind of racing to build out their AI. And I'll pause because I'm sure there's a ton of questions, but that's like the basic of like what the data centers are.
So is AI, is it good for us or isn't it? I mean,
so
used right?
Yeah, I think let's actually back up and talk about the data centers themselves and why people are concerned about them coming.
Yeah.
I think it is powering that end goal of artificial intelligence, which I do want to talk about. But one of the things that's really concerning to me And I know I've come on and I've talked about this plenty of times. One, we are living in a society where I think it's something like 60% of Americans are struggling to pay their bills. We have 3 people have more wealth than the bottom 50% of the country. And these are some of the wealthiest companies in our country. It makes no sense to me that we're giving them tax breaks while the rest of us are paying our fair share. So that's one. I think one, we need to repeal the use and sales tax exemptions, and I've introduced that bill with a Democrat and a Republican lawmaker, so they're bipartisan. And then 2, these data centers have pretty intensive environmental concerns. I talked about the energy usage. So some things I like to get people to think about is one, what we've seen in states where data centers have come to is we've seen a massive rise in utility rates from those states from bringing all these data centers in, because you have to scale up the grid, and that's more infrastructure to maintain, that's more employees to hire, etc. And then additionally, I want people to think about, when the power goes out, a data center has to run 24/7 in order to work. Who is DTE going to focus on getting their power back on? Their biggest customers that have 1 million homes or 2 million homes, or the rest of us here in Garden City? I think we know the answer to that. It's going to be those corporations. Let alone these things have to run 24/7. So what they do is they build in these diesel generators that run a lot more often than people think. And if you've ever smelt diesel fumes, it's very polluting. And that's just another concern. And Saline Township is set to replace, I think, 9 acres of wetland alone. So these are things I think we really need to be looking at.
So what opportunities could AI bring to Michigan jobs, schools, and businesses? Anything?
Yeah. So here is why this race is happening. So, and the CEOs of these companies are talking about this. What the end goal of artificial intelligence is to create something called artificial general intelligence, or to put that in a simple way, they're trying to make an AI that is as smart or smarter than humans. Because if you can do so, you can then use that artificial intelligence to replace massive amounts of jobs, and therefore then you can start making massive amounts of profits off of artificial intelligence. So what we're seeing is right now, MIT came out with a study that said that AI is powerful enough at the moment to replace 12 to 16% of all jobs in society, which I think should be really concerning to all of us.
Yeah.
If they can reach artificial general intelligence or make these things as smart as we are, a lot of experts believe that the first company to do that could essentially control the world economy. And that sounds terrifying, or at least hopefully it sounds terrifying when you hear that. But here's the dilemma we're in. Just to kind of give some what could be good, because I think you asked that. As AI moves forward and advances, it's going to come up with new inventions. It's going to come up with things that probably medical advancements, maybe find some cures for diseases. But the problem with this is it's kind of you can't get the good without the bad, because if AI can figure out how to solve and cure diseases, that means it's also smart enough to create something like a biological weapon. So I think we're in this really kind of scary moment where, because I don't know how you two feel, but I don't think our regular people in Garden City are begging, to have more artificial intelligence in our lives. I think most people are really wary about it. It might be helpful to type something into ChatGPT, but if it's going to lead to 50 to 75% of jobs being replaced, at what point in human history have the wealthiest people ever decided to just willingly give up their wealth to the rest of us?
Well, what worries me the most is our Defense Department getting AI, and what will they do with it, especially with this administration?
Right, and I don't know if you saw this, but one of the AI technology companies is called Anthropic, and Anthropic had a contract with the federal government, and they asked the federal government. They had a couple conditions on how their technology could be used. So they told the Trump administration that their technology could not be used for mass surveillance of civilians, and what's called non-human kills. So in war, essentially the AI making decisions to kill in war without a human being the final decision. And what the Trump administration's response to Anthropic was to cut all federal contracts with them and then get a contract with OpenAI, which is a separate AI company instead. So even when the AI company itself is saying, hey, we don't want our technology used this way, the federal government is pursuing other companies that aren't going to put those restrictions on them. And I think that's kind of the point here. For me, I'm really worried that we have some billionaires that are pushing us towards a future that might be more dangerous than, discovering the nuclear bomb. Because when you create a technology that is smarter than humans and can think faster than humans, how do you control it?
Yeah. Well, I got a little video that you had talked to me about that I just want to play a part of it. And this is China. So this is what could happen. I mean, this is crazy. Watch this video. Okay, that's just part. I mean, that's scary.
Yeah,
and what robots could do other than dance.
When I first saw that video, I'm like, there's no way that this is real. That's and crazy. It is. And so China every year has like a humanoid robot kind of display. And if you just even look from like last year's robots to this year's robots, there's been really big differences. I don't know if you caught in the news, a robot just beat a human's fastest record time in the half mile. Yeah. Robots can now beat humans at ping pong. And I think here's like to make the connector, right? Even jobs like the trades, you would think that AI could never replace those jobs. But if you could put an AI that is as smart as a human into a robot that can do those things that we just saw, it's not too hard to imagine how they could just start replacing us in mass with artificial intelligence and robots together.
Yeah, I mean, they could have an army of warriors. I mean,
that too.
Yeah.
And I think this is the part that's so dangerous because as I talked about earlier too, you have not only the companies racing, but you have countries racing towards this technology. And some people's argument for why we need AI is that we have to beat China in the race to AI. But let me talk a little bit about why I think that's a bad idea as well. I think actually the countries need to come together to talk about this and how we're going to regulate it globally, how we're going to put certain rules of war with artificial intelligence, because we've seen AI already having the ability to lie to humans, to do things that we didn't predict them to do. Let me give you a couple examples. That same company I keep talking about, Anthropic, they did a test on their AI system, Claude. And what they did was they gave it access to a company's emails and then told it that it was going to be shut down. So what the AI decided to do without being told was went through this test company's emails, found out that the person saying it was going to shut it down was having an affair, and used that information to blackmail the person threatening to turn it off. We already seeing AI do things like this. A Chinese AI, what it did was it started mining cryptocurrency without being told to do so. And those are just some examples. Anthropic also came out and just said that they're not releasing their latest version of AI that they just found because it found the ability to hack like U.S. banking system like really quickly. So they're not releasing it to the public because they're worried about what it might do. And I think we have a future that we're kind of, in my opinion, insanely marching towards without having some of these conversations. And I'm really worried about it. And I think we can't take the data center conversation and the AI conversation and separate them, because that's the whole reason like the data centers are coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I got a couple comments in here. Heather Crane says, I am vehemently against AI and data centers. All right. Annette McNeil says, don't like AI. Okay. She does say, although the cat videos are funny.
You know, there's some other weird parts of AI as well. I don't know if you caught this, but there have been some pretty high profile suicides because of AI.
Wow.
So some kids are, you know, my wife's a therapist, and some kids are using AI for therapy. And in some of the cases, AI has been considered harmful to leading towards those suicides as well. And I think, you know, a big use as well is a lot of humans are using AI as like romantic partners. It's a weird thing, but it's, you know, it's one of the things that's also happening. So one of the things I've also done, so we've done 3 things that I think help combat this, or at least slow it down. One is trying to repeal the taxes for data centers so that they're not coming to Michigan and hurting our air and our water and our environment. The second one is I worked with 2 Republicans to introduce legislation that would put a 1-year moratorium on data centers in Michigan, meaning that no data center could be built for a year. I would support legislation that went further. Say that again?
Aren't a lot of communities doing that?
Yeah, our neighboring community, Westland, led by Mike McDermott, Westland Council President, they have a moratorium in place. I've been trying to convince local leaders to do the case. And usually data centers need a lot of land, but I think even smaller scale data centers make a lot of noise, use a lot of water and infrastructure. So I think we should be putting the pause on until we have federal regulations and state regulations. So the moratorium is essential. Another bill I've done is, you know, I signed on a bill that would ban workplace surveillance from AI. Another thing that's kind of dystopian is companies will use AI to monitor their employees to make sure that they're working enough. For example, they have cursor monitors to make sure that if you're not moving your cursor enough at a desk job, it will start tracking that and bumping you to use it. These are all things I think that the vast majority of people in our district, in our state, are opposed to.
Yeah. Mike, am I wrong? Did the council pass some kind of moratorium on them? I mean, I know we're landlocked, but
No, I don't think we.
I thought they had something about data centers they brought up. I don't know. I can't remember.
I have real concern about how much water they
Yeah,
require.
the water's crazy, isn't it? Dylan?
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but I know it's like I want to say, depending on the size, it could be millions of gallons a day.
Right.
Which is just an incredible amount of water. And then, you know, some places, some data centers will say that they use a closed loop system. If you ever hear that, they'll argue it's closed loop, but even those have to have their water changed out periodically. And one of the concerns that I have as well about the data centers is they use something that's called PFAS, which is, for people who don't know, PFAS is a forever chemical, meaning that it's really hard to get it out of the environment once it's into the environment. So like think one thing that has a lot of PFAS is a fire extinguisher, for example. But these chemicals have been linked to various kinds of cancer. And what we saw last fall was specifically for data centers, the EPA, under the Trump administration, just redefined their rules for PFAS so that data centers can use more of them.
Wow. All right, I got a couple comments. Mrs. Chat says, very, very scary. AI has some awesome advantages, but it needs to have built-in safeguards, and sadly, there are not enough humans that are trustworthy enough to handle the necessary safeguards. It's not safe for our future. Does need some safeguards, for sure.
Yeah, and I think more and more people are paying attention to this. There's a documentary that me and my wife got to watch about a week ago, because as I've been diving into this work in Lansing, I've been kind of honest. Let's be honest with people. I've been getting more anxious about it. I've been really kind of been like, it feels like I'm watching the waves recede and the tsunami's about to come in. But I think it's a good starter for people to dive into this. It's called The AI Doc, How I Became an Apocalyptimist. And it's actually directed by the same person who directed Everything Everywhere All at Once, which won, I believe, an Oscar or an Academy Award. And the plot line of this is he's about to have a kid, and he's having all this anxiety about AI. So he goes to talk to all of the experts about it to try to ease his mind on AI, of his worry. And I think we're going into some really unprecedented times in human history. I think this is a technology that's not like any invention we've ever invented, because like the assembly line, yes, it totally changed how we did things. But this is an invention that might make all of the inventions in the future. Like AI might be the one inventing stuff rather than humans. It has the ability to replace every sector of the economy potentially. I think that we need lawmakers that are really starting to look at this. So I know some of me and my colleagues have been having conversations.
Juan Salvador says AI has more disadvantages than advantages. Okay. Kevin Hunt says, yes, council is working on a moratorium right now. So there you go. Annette, I still don't really know enough about it. Well, there's going to be more and more information, I bet, on coming out, right?
Yeah, I think so too. And I think one of the things that is also interesting about this is AI is actually not profitable yet. So they're trying to become profitable. So we also, like another thing experts are talking about is we might see another bubble burst similar to the dot-com bubble or the 2008 housing crash, because all of these companies are spending much more money than they're making. The place that it would become really profitable is if they are able to achieve that general intelligence level, right? To where the AI becomes smarter, and it has gotten a lot better. So they are getting close. It seems like.
Yeah, it learns, and people teach it.
Right, and that's the thing. Every time someone uses it, it actually it teaches the AI. So, my office has taken a position that we are not going to be using AI except for the purpose of trying to understand where the advancements are. But we've decided that we think that it's in the best case for our office just not to use it, because I don't want to advance this technology before we have regulations in place.
Yeah, well, that's probably a good thing. Richard Werbelski from Chubb's Barbecue, he says hello.
Hey, Chubbs.
How you doing, Chubbs? All right, let's move on here to DTE. I know your favorite thing. What's the biggest complaints you're hearing from people right now about DTE?
Yeah, so as I've articulated, I probably on this show a few times, but I love talking about it, so I'll keep talking about it. DTE is the #1 donor in all of Michigan politics. And last year, the two people they gave the most money to is our governor, Gretchen Whitmer, and Republican Speaker Matt Hall. So since I've gotten to Lansing, both sides of the aisle have done essentially whatever DTE has asked them to do. So any bills that have been introduced to take DTE on have effectively been stopped by the leadership, because I call it the illusion of democracy. Unfortunately, as a sitting rep, I do get a vote, but I don't have the ability to force bills up for a vote. That is in the sole power of the Speaker of the House. So it's really important who we get in those positions. And so far since I've been up there, I haven't had a speaker willing to take them on. But
also
Yeah.
sworn to never take PAC money as well, right?
Yes, yeah, I've never taken DTE PAC money, never will. What's good to see is more and more candidates for office and more legislators in Lansing have been making that same pledge. So that gives me some hope that as we move forward, we'll get some tangible movement. I think it's going to be a big hill to cross, though, because again, even if 90 out of 110 didn't take DTE money and the speaker doesn't want to move the bill, they can decide not to move the bill. And but let me talk to people about what they actually can do about this. So my office introduced bills that would ban DTE and monopoly corporations from donating to politics, called Taking Back Our Power bills. And we were unable to get a hearing under Democrats and Republicans. So that coalition that I was working with has gone to the ballot. You might have heard about this. It's called Mop Up Michigan, which stands for Michiganders for Money Out of Politics. It's based off of the bills that we introduced, and it would ban DTE and consumers and Blue Cross Blue Shield from donating in our elections. They have about a month left to get signatures, and they're getting really close to getting enough to putting this on the ballot for all of us to vote on. So if anyone wants to get involved, please go to mopupmichigan.com, look into the ballot proposal, or reach out to me if you haven't signed yet. I'll drive over to your house and have you sign it so we can try to get as many signatures as we can, because I think this is a problem that's going to have to, unfortunately, be solved from the people rather than from the institution.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Who is DTE accountable to? Who holds them accountable?
So it's supposed to be the Michigan Public Service Commission.
They just rubber stamp everything.
And if you connect where the money is going, I think that explains why. Because the Michigan Public Service Commission's rules are written by the legislature. So the legislature is largely bought and sold by the utilities, but the service commissioners themselves are appointed by whoever's in the governor's office. So what we see quite often is people appointed that are pro-utility and that are not willing to hold them accountable. I just saw an article that said, every dollar we spend for a rate, 16% of that goes to shareholder profits. So to me, I'll take this a step further. I actually don't think that we should have Wall Street owned utilities. I think the utilities, it's an important enough thing. I believe that it should be run by the state, and we should have publicly owned utilities, or if local communities organize, we should have locally owned utilities. So 2 cities have locally owned utilities and have much fewer power outages. Wyandotte, our downriver neighbors, have public utilities, and so does the city of Lansing.
Well, and then DTE has the gall to start charging a service fee when you pay by credit card.
Yes, and we introduced the bill that would ban that practice because I think it is just another way for them to get around the Michigan Public Service Commission. It's basically a rate increase, and we've introduced that legislation. I have been trying to convince the Speaker of the House to take it up, but it's an election year, and nobody wants to make DTE mad in an election year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The legislators don't want to hold them accountable. The only one that has a spine to talk about it that I know of is you.
There's a couple of us. I'm pretty outspoken. When I introduced those bills to ban them from donating in politics, a Detroit news reporter was at my press conference, and he asked me, "What are you going to do when DTE spends $100,000 to get you out of office?" Because they've done this before. I have been lucky enough to where they haven't done that or haven't thought that they had somebody that they could spend the money on. But if someone were to go spend $100,000 in a state primary election, it's really hard to overcome that. So I think a lot of lawmakers are nervous for that reason. To me, I would rather be sent back to the classroom where I started than capitulate to DTE, because I know how much people have to pay for electricity because I'm paying it myself. And I don't know how we're all surviving these days.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And now moving on to credit cards, I mean, that's another thorn in our side. I mean, why have a rewards card? Because you're being charged a service fee at all the restaurants. The state of Michigan even charges for license tabs if you use a credit card. Also, my wife just went to Secretary of State. They charge her for using a credit card. Are you kidding me? Is this
Yeah,
legal?
I know the laws are written in a way, and I was just looking back into this before this call because I know we were going to talk about it. I think there are some exemptions in the law for governmental institutions and educational institutions. I don't think that makes it right to charge the fees.
No.
I was looking into that, but for private business, they're not supposed to charge fees for debit card usage. Credit card usage can be charged for, from my understanding. But debit cards are not, it's illegal to charge a fee. And we see that all over the place where we live.
That happened to us. We went to a restaurant. I won't name who it is. They charge a service fee for the credit card. Okay, here's our debit card, same as cash. Nope, we charge for that too because it runs through the same machine. I mean, there's ways to just get around it.
So that's not supposed to happen. There are two things that people can do when they run into these issues, or I guess really three.
What can we do?
You can report to the card providers themselves. You can report it to the state attorney general. And then I believe there's also a federal report link as well. And people could Google these. They're relatively easy to find if you just look up the consumer complaint. We've been looking in my office for legislative fixes. And one of the ways that a lot of businesses are kind of getting around this as a loophole is they're doing what's called a cash discount. I don't know if you've seen this at places before.
A cash price or a credit price.
So they do that as a way to kind of get around the law. So we've been looking into legislation that would ban the cash discount. And I think we pretty much have it. And we're trying to figure out we're trying to figure out the right messaging on it. Because when you say, oh, we want to ban the cash discount, people are like, well, why do you want to ban the discount? But it really, it would be banning these restaurants from charging us fees for using our cards. Is the way people should think about it. I think we're going to introduce it eventually here. We're just trying to cross our T's and dot our I's. But that's how you could get around it in Michigan is by banning the cash discount, because then the restaurant would have to decide their price, and I'm sure in some case they would bake in what their fee would be, but at least it would be transparent up front where you were paying.
Well, look how long the gas stations have been doing this, cash or credit price. Forever. I think we're the only state that does that. I've gone to southern states. They don't do it.
Yeah, I was looking into that too. I think there was a law in 2017 that was passed specifically related to that, but I don't want to misspeak about that one. But yeah, I think that's something we could look at changing as well, because it's also, it seems kind of arbitrary, the amount, right? Why is it generally like 10 cents more right at the gas station, but a different price at other places?
Exactly. Yeah, Cheryl says, how about the state of Michigan charging a service fee on renewing my driver's license and payment for license plates? Yeah, I mentioned that already, but you want to comment on that again or no?
Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't do that. I think that we should, I think we should account for those prices or those charges if that's a reasonable thing that we have to, identify as a cost. I don't understand why not just, put that into the registration price in general. I think that's a much more simpler way to do it. But also it seems a little bit unnecessary in my mind, for sure.
Annette, they shouldn't. They're getting the cash right away with the debit card. Correct. She said that's crazy. Yeah, I was always told it was, debit card, same as cash, comes right out of your account right away.
Yeah.
Kevin Hunt, companies are charged a fee every time you use your credit card. So the company either charges a higher amount for everything to cover the fee or charge just the ones using the credit card. Well, they raise their prices on their menu too, don't forget. So, there you go. They're double dipping as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I think federally we need someone federally to go after MasterCard and Visa and these big corporations as well. I know the president was talking about capping credit card interest rates with someone, as well as some people in the Democratic Party. But clearly that was all talk and no show. It would make a lot of sense to me for us to cap credit card interest rates. I think that would help a lot of people out right now.
Yeah, well, these ones that have the machines are the ones that they need to go after for sure. The third-party processors are assisting businesses in how to get a free card reader and to pass the fees on to the customer. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I don't know. We need to definitely look into it, and I know you'll be on top of it, right?
Yeah, we've been looking into it. We're trying to find the right solution, trying to figure out like what state's done the right thing. And I know we did so one of the things that you can do when you're in office is you can do what's called a Legislative Service Bureau research request. So the state of Michigan has lawyers and other folks who they're the ones who draft the legislation, and they can also do a research project essentially on whatever I asked them to do. So we had asked them to do one on this, and I know I need to send that over to you, and I'll try to do that tonight. It's been a wild year with the Trump administration, especially since they've been trying to bring this detention center to Romulus, which is also in the district.
Every time you bring something up, they buck you or you run against a wall. So Joe Bartley from J&J Taxes, I'll never charge extra for a client to use a card. I think that's cheesy. He doesn't either. And that's the cost of doing business as far as I'm concerned. What's good for the customer? Heather Crane, I'm not a fan of percentages being added to my bill for using my credit card. It's the business's responsibility to cover the fees. I'm told use your debit card. Absolutely not. Yeah.
Yeah, and in some places now, they don't even accept cash, right? So you go to like a Lions game, for example,
Yes.
It's cashless now. So you don't even have the option to pay with cash if you wanted to in some places, which in my opinion, I think all businesses should have to require to accept cash as legal tender anywhere. I think that's a pretty good standard. I know it's separate from the fee conversation, but I think the idea that we're letting corporations get away with not letting us use cash is also, I think, an issue.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You get a rewards credit card and they charge you your 3-4%, and there goes your rewards out the window. So what's the sense in having one?
That's a good point.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, it's a hot topic. So hopefully your legislator friends in Lansing, you all come up with something and fight this for us, will you?
Yeah, we're adding it to the list of many. I'd be curious to see how many colleagues I could get to support it. We're definitely close to, I think, a finished product on the ban of the cash discounter. I really got to come up with a clever name for that because I don't like how that one sounds. How about banning credit card fees? We'll call it that.
Yeah. Okay, a couple more here. Annette, is a large hold amount on your debit card legal?
I'd have to look into that. I have to look into the federal law on that. I'm sure that there are some regulations, but and I think one thing I'll like to tie this back to what we were just talking about. All these little regulations that we have for credit card fees, we have nothing for AI. Period. Right? Federally, there are no regulations at all. Something that is a lot more complex than whether the rules of credit card processing fees. So that's how far behind we are in regulations. It's just something I will put out there into in this conversation.
Yeah, AI hasn't cost me any money like the restaurants and that have yet, though. But it's coming. Cheryl says we're seeing both. The restaurants raise their menu prices and charge to use a credit card. Raising menu prices is understandable when inflation goes up, but doing both is greed. Yeah, I tend to agree. I don't know. It's not right. Double dipping, man. Double dipping. Okay, well, wrapping it up here. What message would you like to leave listeners with, and how can people stay informed or get involved on these important issues?
One, please reach out to our office if you yourself or anyone you know has any state level issues with state programs, say Medicaid, food assistance, etc. We are like a lot of the work that we do is helping folks navigate the kind of complex state departments. And it shouldn't be this way, but I'll just be honest with people, as I always like to be. It's a lot easier to move through those departments if you have my office reach out on your behalf or help you reach out rather than calling on your own. And we always want to make sure that people are getting the services that they need, as well as if you need help with anything, call. We might have an answer. We've been doing this now for 3 years. I think constituent services is one of the strengths that we have. It's something I take seriously because, I might not be able to move certain pieces of legislation against DTE in Lansing, but I can always help our community out when they call. Also, send us invites to things. I like to come to events and talk to people and get to know them. So please put it on my radar. If I can make it, I try to. It's been an honor to serve in this role. At times, it's been really hard this last year, but especially with, having people like Donald Trump in the White House. But we're going to keep fighting to make sure that we have people that are representative of the working class and not these corporate interests. And I think it's going to take all of us, right? So please, if you want to get organized in something, reach out to me and I can help plug you in.
Now, just what cities do you cover now? District 26?
Yeah, so District 26 is all of Garden City, all of Inkster, southeast Westland, so southeast of Wayne and Cherry Hill, and then the northeast portion of Romulus.
Okay, yeah. Quite a big area. I just want to get Chubbs in there. He says he's doing great. His new truck should be done hopefully by the first week of next month. Awesome. Sounds good, Richard. Mike, do you have any comments or questions for Dylan before?
No, it's just good to have Dylan fighting for the little guys.
Yeah.
We need all the support we can get.
Right. Exactly. All right. Well, there's Dylan's information there on the screen for you. Get a hold of him if you want to get more involved. So,
yeah. Well, great to be on.
Thank you very much for taking the time to chat with us. And please come
anytime.
Anytime, okay?
Go Lions, everybody.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
All right, bye.
All right. There is his information. He did pretty good tonight. Good information. Always good to have him on. And as you can see, it's a pretty hot topic. Joe Bartley, good job. Dylan, yep. Heather Crane, you're a great representative for us. Thank you for your comment. Oh, wait, what about fiber optic companies coming in? That I will have to talk to Mark about next week, the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you all for your questions and comments. That's great. All right, we're going to get Mike in here now with community events, so stand by for that.
Well, when you say goodbye, that'll be the day.
Time for some community announcements. So
Say
let's get Mike in here. Mike,
You know it's a like there'll be day when I die.
All righty. I see you
What
don't
you
have
got?
glasses on. Is that going to hinder you?
Probably not. I don't know.
Okay.
Volunteers are needed for Meals on Wheels.
Yep.
They definitely have a shortage of people to deliver food to those that are homebound and needy.
Yeah.
Even if you can only do it one day a week, give them a call and volunteer.
Right. Yeah.
Now scheduling summer field trips. Okay.
Imagination Station. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's yeah. Phone number 734-237-4340.
Okay.
Contact them now.
Lucky Scroll. Dates have been chosen of May 16th, July 18th, and September 19th. You can register now. It runs from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. 10 by 10 spot costs you $25 per event.
Yep. That's right around the corner.
May 16th is, yeah. Join our team, Garden City, Michigan Youth Coordinator information and building assistance, a program tutor. Apply now.
Yeah. GardenCityMI.org/careers. This is for the Garden City Parks and Rec Department, part-time positions.
Yeah.
Yep.
They use a lot of people during a lot of kids and stuff during the summer.
Right. Yep.
Professional carpet cleaning. Dennis does carpet cleaning, tiling, grout, hardwood floor, upholstery cleaning. Contact him at 734-299-6496. Stay alert. Join Code Red to receive alerts on important news and events in Garden City.
Yeah, you can register online, gardencitymi.org/code red.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Straight Farmhouse, 6221 Merriman Road,
They have a
Garden
plethora
City. What is it? They have what?
of events.
Yes, they do. And they are open Wednesdays and Saturdays for tours from noon to 3. For event information, go to www.straightfarmhouse.org.
Yep. That's our favorite word, plethora.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Drop-in pickleball on Saturdays, $3 per person.
10 a.m. to 1.
10 a.m. to 1, okay.
That's at Radcliffe.
They're putting in batting cages now at Radcliffe to go with it.
Yeah.
So that and pickleball is going to,
Explode.
use that gym a lot. Ace Masonry, 30 years experience. Jay Piner is the owner, brick, block, and stone. You can contact him at 734-469-0633.
Yep.
Frozen, coming up Friday, April 24th
Yeah.
at 7 o'clock, Saturday, April 25th at 2 o'clock, and Sunday, April 26th, 2 o'clock. This is at the O'Leary Auditorium.
Mhm.
I can't read most of that fine print.
Yeah, tickets online $16 for adults, $14 for seniors or for students, military and seniors. At the door, they'll be $18.
Okay.
At
Should
O'Leary.
be, they do a great job with their plays over there.
Yeah.
Garden City Cornhole, 8 weeks, plus playoffs, spring, summer sessions. It's on Tuesdays. They have co-ed at 6:30. Thursdays, men's from 6:30 to 2 or 6:30. And Saturdays, what is that? At 2 p.m.
You're on adult softball leagues, $550
Okay.
for the cost. And then kickball league, $250 per team. And cornhole's $100 per team.
Thank you.
Yep.
Shine a Light on Autism, acceptance walk and event Saturday at Central City Park, 1901 North Carlson. That's April 25th at 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Yep.
Garden City Spring street sweeping schedule. So you can find your area
Yep.
on the map, and it runs from April 27th,
Yep.
28th, 29th, 30th, and May 1st, depending on what area you live in.
Right. You can freeze frame your computer right now if you want to take a picture of that, and then you'll know.
Yeah. Makers Swap.
Wednesday, April 29th,
Okay.
6 to $8 per spot, only 30 spots available. This is at Radcliffe.
Ribbon cutting at the Radcliffe Center, Wednesday, April 29th. Ribbon cutting, Radcliffe Open House. Oh, I thought we already did this. We're going to do it again, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, they want to
We got a lot of new
all the new,
activity.
yeah, a lot of new stuff. This is
Royal Baby Shower This is May 2nd from from 2 to 3.
No, 1 to 3.
1 to 3, okay.
On May 2nd. It's at the historic Metropolitan United Methodist Church, 8000 Woodward in Detroit. They need a lot of baby items, diapers, etc. That's Net McNeil gave us this.
Okay, Radcliffe Center Community Night event.
Yeah. Free event. Friday,
So,
May
1st.
5. Yep.
Okay. What is that? Go over.
GCYAA.
Okay.
Opening day, May 2nd. Raffle basket.
$5 per ticket.
Yeah, $5 a ticket.
$600 value. Star Wars Day at the Garden City Library on May 4th.
Yep.
Crafted a lightsaber, make Yoda.
Yep.
How do you make Yoda? I don't know. Build a droid. Okay.
3 to 6 p.m.
Westland,
Westland 60. Wow.
Westland turns 60 on May 2026. Westland Historic Village Park. Show your Westland pride, $20 only. It's on Saturday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Yep. At the historic Westland Historic Village Park.
Yep. Garden City Public Library is bingo night, May 6th from 6 to 7:30. Join us for a monthly bingo night. Try your luck at the winning prizes. Open to all ages, 14 and up. Drop in.
Yep.
Bingo. Mother's Day lunch, May 7th. Is Cheryl going to that?
Yeah, she's going with a bunch of girls that she's going with.
Yeah. My wife's going too, but she insists that I go with her. Thursday, even though I'm not a mother. Thursday, 12 p.m., $20 for resident, $25 for non-residents.
Richard says he'll be there. We'll be there.
Okay. A Mother's Day craft show from 11 to 4. Saturday, May 9th.
First United Methodist Church on Merriman, right across from Barson's.
Okay.
Yep.
Neighborhood Watch, second Tuesday of every month, 7 p.m. at the Garden City Police Department. Next one will be on May 12th.
Right.
Crestwood School District is having an art show on Thursday, May 14th from 5:30 to 7 at the Riverside Middle School in the C hallway. Friends and family are welcome.
Yeah.
You're invited to the spring picnic and open house Friday, May 15th from 4 to 6. Where's that at?
Yeah, this is the Pendleton Center for the Blind Children.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do a good job.
Adult co-ed kickball league is going to take place. I can't read most of that.
May 15th,
Okay.
night, 6:30 to 10:30. 8 games plus playoffs.
Michigan Trading Car Fest. 26 show schedule is May 17th, June 18th, July 12th, my birthday, and August 2nd from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Soho Event Center.
Yeah, over there on Warren, that new one. Next to Alexander the Great restaurant used to be there, next door.
Hot summer nights. Detroit, what is that? Brohams presents Hot Summer Nights. It's on May 30th.
$20 for show vehicles. All vehicles welcome. This is at Bova on VFW Bova, 6440 North Hicks Road in Westland.
The Trip to Bonneville.
Yep.
That's a show that's going to be produced at
Hook and Ladder Theater,
Hook and Ladder Theater.
located at 35255 Goddard and Romulus.
Community Shred Day, prescription drugs disposals is on June 6th from 10 to 1. City Hall parking lot, enter on Central Street from Ford Road. Up to 5 paper boxes of paper can be shredded.
Yep.
25th Annual Autos for Autism Car Show is on Monday, June 15th from 4 to 9 at the Garden City Middle School. Bonnie and the Working Girls are the main music attractions.
Yeah, they do.
Carrie will be judging all those cars and motorcycles, and I will be tallying the votes.
Yep. It's a great event.
Music in the Park, June 18th, July 16th, and August 20th. On June 16th, the Ones and Twos will be performing. On July 16th, Smith Factor will be performing, and on August 20th, St. John Smith. They'll have food trucks, games, vendors, free event.
Okay.
Band info on the Facebook.
Yep. Exactly. And that's all I have.
That's all I have too.
Okay. All right. Let's get us both up there at the same time. Richard had something to say here. How about doctor offices requiring you to have a credit card on file? The offices don't do the right paperwork to get your insurance to cover the services, and they rather just automatically draw funds from your account. They can refuse services if you don't, unless it's deemed an emergency. This world is changing for the worse. Yes,
Yeah.
It is a different world, Richard. That's for sure. Let's see. Westland's 60th birthday, May 15th, new auditorium. Yeah. All right, let's give a shout out real quick to a few people that were in there tonight, Mike. Joe Bartley from J&J Taxes and More. Melissa Hunt Sampy, councilwoman from Westland. Mark Barsamian. Hi, Mark. How you doing? Used to be our dentist in Garden City.
Mine too.
Now in Florida, living the life. Brown Sparks is in there.
How's the wildfires down there, Mark?
Annette McNeil, Heather Crane, Kevin Hunt. Juan Salvatore, Mrs. Chat. If I miss anybody. Richard from Chubbs. If I miss anyone, I apologize. There's a lot of people in there, and some I can't see because they haven't said anything. But hey, thank you all for joining us. And with that, Mike, I think we're ready to call this a podcast.
Podcast.
Right. A huge thank you to State Representative Dylan Wegela. He had some really good information tonight. If you tuned in late, I urge you to listen. And here's his contact information. Get a hold of him if you have any further questions that weren't answered tonight.
Or if you need some help and concerns with the issues, contact him.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what he's there for. And also thank Mike. Great job as always. Appreciate it. Remember, this show will be available right after we sign off tonight on Facebook, and we hope you'll catch it at your convenience, especially if you tuned in late, by going to facebook.com/GCChat. And feel free to share the show with your friends as well. You can also catch us on our YouTube channel. Just search for the Garden City Community Chat Show. You can also scan that QR code there at the top on the screen right now, and that'll take you right there. Let's see. Be sure to click on the live tab. You'll see not only this show, but all our past shows as well. And please subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button. We would appreciate it. And at the end of all of our shows, Mike and myself like to thank all the healthcare workers, first responders, police and fire, everyone on the front lines who serve and protect us every day. We can't thank you enough. Be safe. We want you to know that you and your families are in our thoughts and prayers every day. And whenever you see any of these heroes, please let them know how much you appreciate them. Any final thoughts, Mike?
No, just the usual. In spite of what our Secretary of Health says, you should get vaccinated for things to protect yourself and your family.
Yeah. Remember, the success of a community depends on the community. So please support your local businesses. And like Mike said, please don't hesitate, vaccinate. Remember, you're not only protecting yourself, but you're protecting others as well. RSV is going crazy. Also, measles, their outbreak again. Very, very sad situation right now. And Mike,
Yes,
if you see something,
say something.
right, we need to look out for one another out there. So we hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for listening. If you would like to contact any of us here at the chat for any reason, once again, the email, gccommunitychat@gmail.com. We do like to hear from our listeners. Let us know how we're doing, what you'd like to see more of. If you have a guest that maybe you'd like us to contact to come on the show, send his name along to us or company or whatever, and we'll be more than happy. We will see you next week, April 30th, when Garden City Mayor Mark Jacobs is going to be here, live right here on Facebook and YouTube. Have your questions ready. Thanks again for supporting us every Thursday night. We really appreciate you. Don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/GCChat and over on our YouTube channel. Just search for the Garden City Community Chat Show. Be sure to subscribe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We would appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. Be safe. Take care of one another, and we'll see you next week. Good night, Mike.
Good night.